Now we come to the next kind of pronoun, and that is a relative pronoun. We will see the definition. A relative pronoun is a pronoun that relates to an antecedent and at the same time joins it to a limiting or qualifying clause, right? Let's not get into the technicalities again. A simple question. We have seen that the relative pronoun, the different kinds of relative pronoun, one is who, the other is whom, and then we have that, and also which. All these are relative pronouns. You might wonder that how can who be a relative pronoun as well as an interrogative pronoun? Same is the case with whom. How can who, whom, which be both relative pronouns and interrogative pronouns? The difference is that when these are interrogative pronouns, they are having a question mark at the end. So when you say who is he, this is basically an interrogative pronoun. But when you say the man who, yes, so the man who is sitting here is my friend. Now, is this having a question mark? No, it is not having a question. It has a full stop, right? So this is an assertive sentence, and the pronoun that we have used here is not an interrogative pronoun. Why? Because this sentence is not an interrogative sentence. This is a relative pronoun. So this is the difference between an interrogative pronoun and a relative pronoun. So let's see what is a relative pronoun. Let's go through the definition again. A relative pronoun is a pronoun that relates to an antecedent and at the same time joins it to a limiting clause. So this pronoun who is not only speaking about the man but also is basically going ahead and giving a clause, right? So this is the man who has seen the pyramids. So this is the man, and what kind of man? The one who has seen the pyramids. So who is basically pointing to the man, the noun man. At the same time, it is qualifying the man with the information as the one who has seen the pyramids. And what is this? This is a clause. People, please don't worry. In the video on clause and phrase, we have discussed the difference between phrases and clauses, right? This is the house, right? This is the house. What kind of house? The house that I live in. This that is pointing to the noun house, just the way who was pointing to the noun man. Similarly, he is fond of oranges, which are very healthful, which refers to what? Oranges. So he is fond of oranges, and these which are very healthful. Again, this is the clause. John is all set to become the new sheriff. And what does whose refer to? It refers to John in the possessive form, right? John, whose mother passed away last week, is all set to become the new sheriff. So, to whom does whose refer to? John, whose refers to John, right? John, whose mother. So this is the possessive form, right? This is the possessive form. John, whose mother passed away last week, is all set to become the new sheriff. So these are all the qualifying clauses. They are qualifying what? Something that comes immediately before them. Raj, and whom does Raj refer? Whom does this refer to? This refers to Raj, right? Raj will come to my place, and who? And what is this? This is basically pointing to. This is the relative pronoun whom, pointing to Raj. Raj, whom my father has never seen, will come to my place. So we have here numerous examples. In all the examples we have seen, whom is the relative pronoun, whose is the relative pronoun, which is the relative pronoun, that is the relative pronoun, and who is the relative pronoun. And taken together, the entire thing is a relative clause. Why? Because it has its own verb. I live, who has, which are, mother passed away, father has, right? So what do we see here is that a relative pronoun usually comes with a relative clause which has its own subject and verb, right? So here is the answer. Is this is John, right? It's a very simple sentence, right? This is John. It's a complete meaningful sentence. And then if I have to add something to it, I would say this is John who won the prize, right? So this is John who won the prize. Now, who is the relative pronoun that refers to John, and who won the prize is the relative clause that qualifies the noun John. Just the way who has seen the pyramids qualifies the noun man, that I live in qualifies the noun house, which are very healthful qualifies the noun oranges, whose mother passed away last week qualifies the noun John, whom my father has never seen qualifies the noun Raj. So, what do we learn from this? We learn that relative pronouns always have relative clauses, and relative pronoun always point to that which comes immediately before them. So here we have the man who, right? The house, that, right? So that points to the house, who points to the man. Oranges, oranges, which, right? So which points to oranges. So the relative pronouns, again I am repeating, points to the object that comes immediately before it. The relative pronouns bring with them relative clauses. All the parts that you see in bold are relative clauses. The relative clauses in the above examples are in bold, right? As we have discussed. The relative clauses may be essential or non-essential. Now, again, please understand, you must be wondering that in certain cases we have the commas, in certain cases we don't have the commas, right? So let's compare these two examples, the one that I am marking here. The boy who is wearing a white shirt is my classmate. Nishant, who is wearing a white shirt, is my classmate. Now, you must observe that the boy, this is not in commas, right? I have not put this in commas. On the other hand, this information I have put in commas. Why? Now the reason is that, is the boy, is this information enough? Can I say which boy? Can I spot that boy? I cannot. That means if this information is not enough, then this becomes essential. Please guys understand this. This becomes essential information. And therefore, essential information should not be put in commas. The boy who is wearing a white shirt is my classmate. I would not put this in commas because I cannot identify the boy. The only way through which I can identify the boy is by knowing that he is wearing a white shirt. But in the second case, the name Nishant is enough for me to identify the person. I did not go and see what clothes he is wearing. And therefore, Nishant is my classmate. Is it enough? And this becomes non-essential. Why? Because the name itself is enough for us to identify the person. But the boy here has no name, and therefore I must distinguish him because through the white shirt which he is wearing, right? So the man who helps his neighbors is indeed generous. Now, who is this man? I don't know, but the man who helps his neighbors. So this becomes a essential information, and therefore I will not put this essential information in commas. On the other hand, John is generous, and who helps his neighbor refers to who refers to John. And because John is itself enough for me to understand or to recognize the person, I can put this information in commas, and I can say this is non-essential. So if the relative clause is giving you necessary or essential information, then you remove the commas. But if it is giving you non-essential information, you can put the commas in the relative clause. So in this video, we have understood relative clauses, we have understood relative pronouns, and we have understood that if the relative clauses give us essential information, then we should not put them in commas. And if they give us non-essential information, then we can put them in commas. And this is the thumb rule of good writing.